help us with the screen sharing? Or is it, oh, it's already on.
Yeah, can we share screen?
Yeah.
Brandon, are you able to see the slide?
Yeah, we can see a big love squared.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey guys, can you all come up here?
Yeah, the other side.
So if you're in front of the cabinet, you can be, the camera can see you.
Or we can.
Everybody's except
It's fine. I mean, when we're speaking, we can just switch.
yeah. So the person speaking needs to be where Yuki is because of the microphone.
Right here.
Okay. So make sure you're in front of the microphone.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Floor is yours.
Okay. Good morning, Professor Brandon. Hi, Osaka teams, and welcome to Love Square. I is the Chinese word for love. Through this project, we would like to spread love, and we'd also like to receive love. So, to love and to be loved, hence IED. We are IED Production, and we are the team behind Love Squared. I'm Lily. I am the director of this documentary. Yuki is our writer. Antonia is responsible for research. Emma, post-production editing, and Medina is our main camera operator. Love Squared follows the story of a Shanghainese woman who, through the process of rescuing and saving stray cats, finds herself rescued in return. So after a very difficult period of her life, this woman decides to operate a shelter for vulnerable stray cats, in which she poured all her heart, efforts, and savings. What began as rescuing stray cats grew into saving herself, leading towards her own healing and purpose. With the help of her husband and other volunteers, she cared for cats in need of love and safety, while carefully matched them with their forever home. Through the process of loving the cats, she rediscovered love herself, not just in giving it, but also in receiving it. Love, in return, becomes a circle. To love and to be loved. Love Squared. Now, Yuki and Antonia will present our background research.
Now I will introduce the background of this documentary. According to the World Population Reviewed Income, the global streetcar population currently stands at nearly 500 million, with China ranking second with nearly 100 million. Given that the streetcars increase the social cost, impact the ecological environment, urban safety and management, and will increase the public health risks. So, attention to the management and protection of streetcars become more and more vital. However, take Shanghai as an example. The city lacks specific regulation governing the streetcars, has no dedicated shelters, and the funding allocated to the management and protection of streetcars is minimal. Although there were several relevant personnel assisted with the neutral programs, however, the number of that falls short far from the Shanghai's total streetcar population of nearly 400,000. In this context, non-profit organization and the personnel plays a vital role in the management and protection of streetcars.
Okay, so why did we choose this specific place? So first of all, it is not governmentally funded. It is founded by one singular woman who pours all of her heart, her time, her effort, and especially her money in it. So it is not a brand or a charity that gives them extra funding. So it is also
very sustained through a community. It has a family feeling, which we really like. It is not money focused, and they carefully match cats with owners. For example, they try to see that their personality fit and that the owners themselves have a good personality. And it's not like some other place where you can go and just buy a purebred cat. It's like you really have to be the right person for these cats. So the focus is more on connection and responsibility and not on profits. So this place actually has some, I would call it side hustles. It's not just the adoption center in itself. They also have a cat cafe, but it's not a cat cafe in the general sense because it's more of a cafe. They say it themselves. It's not a cat cafe, just great coffee with a cat company because they can come and go however they like. They also employ an hotel, for example. If you adopt from them and you need to travel abroad, you can bring it to them and the cats can have a little holiday with them. And also they have a salon. It's located in the middle of Shanghai, close to our other campus actually, the Zurich campus. And we went there to scout the place 2 weeks ago. We had a 2-hour interview with the owner because it was really important for us to actually get to know the people there, the volunteers there, and also we really wanted to see how the lighting setup is. If we would need to bring extra cameras, extra lighting, then we wanted to see, oh, where could we put the cameras? And we also just, in general, think it is very important to get to know people before you actually interview them. So yeah, continue.
For the participants and collaborators, this documentary is gives more recognition and appreciation to H² Home's ongoing efforts. Since many volunteers and adopters already involved in this process, this documentary may increase their numbers and attract more volunteers and supporters. And in addition, it will help to raise awareness and support from the local community. Based on this, we set 3 main objectives for our film. First of all, to raise awareness about cats in need and the process of their rehabilitation and rescuing. Second, to increase the interest in adopting stray cats or cats from the shelters instead of buying the purebred ones. And third one is to engage the international community in Shanghai in supporting local cat welfare efforts. So for our target audience, our primary one are the people who want to open their own cat shelter, adopt a cat, or become a volunteer in such places. And our secondary audience are the people who care about cats' welfare and want to support rescue efforts, even though they don't have a related experience.
Okay, so now to present the style and approach of the documentary, I think after everything we've heard, the best method or like the best form of documentary for us would be participatory and poetic. For participatory, we want to share experience, not just observation. So the camera and we become part of the whole process. For why and how, we want to show empathy, and that will be guided through the way we shall frame things. For the voice and address, that's the narration and also voiceovers. Also have community participation because we think every day the documentary we're making shall be shaped by those who are there, and so it's not it's not linear. For poetic, we also go for rhythm, soul, and sensation. That shall be the way we shall edit it in a non-linear way. We shall use sound as metaphor. We shall have visual poetry because we want it to be like a love letter to cinematography too. And the narration and rhythm shall follow a slow way. These are a few, I'll say, poetic visuals on the different shot types we wish to use and the way we shall try to color grade it, lower thirds, montage, close-ups, and everything. And for our basic timeline, we already did the preparation phase in October, November, we should do a bit and start shooting. Post-production shall start December to January. And this is the project timeline. Yeah, that's everything.
Fantastic. That looks really amazing project. And congratulations on the progress you've made so far. I'm very impressed. I just feel one thing, and we don't have time to give much feedback, but I do feel like you should also consider how you're going to capture the cats, how you're going to present them. And I think they're as important as your main protagonist. So, especially for the camera person, it might be really important to practice, practice on the cats so that you can really get down to their level.
Okay.
Great. Okay. Thank you very much. That was really good, wasn't it? Hey.
All right, our firefly.
And Donjin, can you please share the slides after today's session?
Oh, yes, yeah, I will.
Thank you. That would be wonderful.
Yeah. So just Brandon, just a preview. This group was the one who focused on the scrap collector lady, and the participant felt uncomfortable, so we had to change the topic. Hope you heard me. Yeah.
Yeah. So now it's changed the name to Nowhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that background.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Before we begin, I would like you to take a second to ask yourself one question. Are you content with the life you're living right now? So maybe some say yes and some say no. I understand because in the world that constantly urges us to race towards marriage, towards mortgages, towards promotion, stopping to ask ourselves that kind of question it has become a luxury, and the answer isn't always easy. So our documentary, Nowhere, is a journey to find an answer that lies not on the destination, but on the very road we travel. And we found that in the story of Wei, a very ordinary man living in Shanghai. So Wei is a product of China's one-child generation, and he has to carry the common expectation that is continuing his family bloodline. So his journey is one of the pragmatic shifts from a failed entrepreneur in Hunan to a driver in Shanghai. But I would say that this isn't a story of failure. This is rather a story of choice. And living in a dynamic Shanghai, Wei has carried no big ambitions. His dream is simple but profound. That is a desire to travel and see all of China. And I would say that Wei doesn't fight against the society pressure, but he just simply steps aside and finds his own peace in it.
Okay, so what is our story about? So, Wei, a son of the one child generations, navigating his life in Shanghai at his own pace, while the society's rate towards market, merits, and promotions, he finds solace in the rhythm of his work as a driver, a nighttime leadership, and a quiet trip to see it all of China. So, his journey posed a very subtle but haunting questions. What if happiness lies not in the journey, the destination that you reach, but in every single step of the road you're on? So, to be honest, our documentary have no dramatic climate in the traditional sense. Climate will be in every quiet moment, away, silently observing the hurry crowded, hearing the sound of car horn tearing through the air, and the profile came when he accepted his path. And to tell the story with authenticities, we, the young team from the Firefly Productions, have a specific approach to be present, to listen, and to accompany. So me and and Nina will be the co-directors who will set the emotional core and the narrative flow, ensuring that every single moment will be authentic and profound. Tan Wei will be our production manager, who ensure this journey will run smoothly. And Rome will be our video editor, who will breathe life into every single footage, waving it into a complete cinematic portrait. And finally, Andre, our camera operator, will be our eye to capture every single moment that define our main characters. But due to some academic trip, Andre cannot make it today, but he have a few words to say directly with you guys.
Hi, my name is Ati from Firefly Productions, and my job in this documentary project is to be camera operator. Now, my main job basically is to take videos or footages to make sure that the story comes to life. And to do that, we'll be using several equipments. For example, this camera right here. Could be the Canon, could be the Blackmagic, could be the Sony Alpha. Whatever it is, to make sure that we capture all that 4K 24 FPS goodness to come to the screen. You might also be using even smaller equipment to do the job. Like, for example, this GoPro right here. Take footages on the move, people moving around, make sure that we get all the action on camera. And if we may need to do so, we might also be using smaller cameras on the phone like this. Anything that we can do to make sure that the story comes to life to you, the audience. So that's all from me. Thank you for your time, and we'll give you the best to make sure that the documentary project can mesmerize you and make sure you also become engaged with the story. I'll see you next time, especially on the screen. Bye.
Okay, so bye bye, Andre. Yeah, thank you, Andre, for your presentations. So we have to say that our team is very dedicated for this film. So I believe that this team will make any story that deserves to be like present in a good way, the complete way. And of course, we are not invisible filmmakers. We are like also the camera also contributing to the trusting and intimate of this story. So so we want to say about how visual language will be told through our movie. So for the first one, we will have like the we will have like the dialogue, the narrative dialogue, the authentic dialogue, where the our way will be the center of every conversations in our movie, and all the conversations is focused on him. And the second one is the collaborative framing. The camera is on acknowledge, making the relationship visible. And we always want to like the camera will be the companion who will like who will be like a friend to tell the story about our way. And the third one is the intimate soundscape. The audio always the sounds focus on the natural sounds between the conversations between us and our way. And also we focus on the natural sounds of atmosphere around. And the final one, this is the shared journey. The film will mirror the evolutions of our relationship with our way. And I have to say that this movie is not a dramatic movie. I want to focus on one sentence. This movie is no drama, no noise, just quiet crisis and live subtle contemplations. And we believe that our film will bring you bigger And for our way, it's just a platform to share his authentic story, but with potential collaborator. I believe that this film is enough for being in a festival film.
As our time have not that much, so now I will quickly complete this. For our roadmap, because we begin this journey in the late of October. So for now, we are in the final stage of pre-production, and for the production part, will be shoot in mid of the November, and post-production will be finish all that in mid of December. For our audience, we focus the target group with the culturally minded viewer in the age of 20 to 40s, and also we also need the attention from film festival programmers for this day. And at the end, it all come back in the meaning of our titles. Uh, if you written in one word, nowhere, the meaning of it will be no destination, get lost or something. But if we split it into the two words, now here's, it will become different. Now here's is me, you stay in the present time. So for now, I would like to ending with the way over. It is, I don't know where I'm going, but I'm ready on the road. 我不知道我要去哪，但我已经在路上。Thank you everyone for your attention.
Wow, that was wonderful. It just one quick comment, and that is, it reminds me of there's a film in Japan called Perfect Days. Have you ever heard of it? Perfect Days. Do you know that story? It's basically the story of a Japanese man who cleans the toilets. But it's so quiet and peaceful. But they really cleverly brought out his personality. So if you have the chance, try and have a look at, as a possible reference for your story, have a look at Perfect Days. Manev was saying it's a great film, and I think it really is. Yes. So please take a look at that. You only need to see the trailer to get an idea of how the story works, but I think the story you're telling is very, very similar. So there's a lot of little techniques the director uses to really bring out the personality. So, for instance, he likes to have a coffee in the morning. He likes to do something. He has a routine before he goes to bed. So, yes, please check it out. Great. Well done. Very nice presentation. Yeah, there's a lot of support for Perfect Days from university students. Dongjing, I think Kit is joining us. I believe maybe the issue is the clocks have changed in the UK. So she's thinking it's starting in 2 minutes' time as opposed to 1 hour ago. Well, we'll see if she can come. Okay. And if you have audio with your slides, please select share audio as well.
Do you have audio? Do you have audio in your slides?
Yeah. But I mean, the audio is not that important.
It's not, because it's just, it's not important.
So, good morning, everyone. Today we want to introduce you our documentary Dancing Dragon, which will follow a story of retired Chinese men and women who come together to dance in a public square. And which I think it represents like power and wisdom. So we thought, also for us being international students, it's really big representation of Chinese culture. So for now it's Dancing Dragon, but we open to other options. And also we chose this topic because for us being international students, it's really amusing how active and vibrant is retirement life in China. So that's why we thought it would be amazing to capture this. I think camera is...
It's on me.
Okay, anyways, but yeah, so speaking of our synopsis, in Megapolis, so modern and young, dancing helps elders to find purpose, community, and overcome loneliness. So Dancing Dragon will follow a retired woman and man who come out of their houses to dance to the music of life, each with their own reasons to move their bodies under the city lights, electrifying the vibrant social life in modern China. So it's crucial to understand the sentiment of post-retirement life is a part of Chinese culture and social identity, a force that bridges generations. Dancing, a repeated practice throughout the nation's history, is likewise an important component of its journey to taking a closer look to the intriguing Chinese culture of China. So talking about our production, our team has 4 members. Christina will be responsible for production. Lindsay will be responsible for video editing, audio and lighting. Farshad and I will be responsible for camera operation and direction, and also I will help with the video editing.
Okay, so I'll talk about our resources. So we will be interviewing and filming Chinese men and women who are in their retirement age, around 60 years old and above. We've spoken to a few groups already, and they've agreed to participate in our documentary and let us film their dancing. We will be going to different filming locations within Shanghai. These include a few community parks in the Jing'an area near the city center and along the Suzhou River. We'll also be around SJTU and the Minhang district. And as for equipment, we will be filming during the day and night. So we have decided to rent 2 Blackmagic cameras with tripods since they're better for low light, microphones to capture the audio, and some extra lights in case we need to add more lighting at night.
So while we were trying to work on the background research, we realized that we have to cover 2 parts. The first part is the Chinese media, and the other one is the international media. So the videos that are capturing this topic, they are all usually like 3 parts. The first group are the informative videos that they are most common between the publications and news agencies. And they're just talking about, yeah, these are the people who are doing this, doing that. And it's very informative, more like news. The other group is the foreigners who are coming across a cultural phenomenon like this phenomenon. They usually post on their Instagram, on our YouTube. Most of these videos are not that high quality or static. So it's mostly like people just going to random people and talk. And at the same time, it's the most common and most popular in the social medias. And the third one is using the trending subject as a language learning method. So basically, a lot of these videos got trendy on the WeChat or on Douyin or other like Xiaohongshu. And then in the foreign media, they will use that for making, I don't know, like a language kind of content for the ones who are like learning the language. And they are amazing. So the last couple of days, we've been going to Jinan to try to like see if we can like talk with them and see like how they are doing their dance or what kind of dances they can do, what kind of lightings we will need. And we captured some videos that you can check here. I hope the sound is not going to be so distorted. So like as you can see, they have, they have different kind of dancings. And they mostly like start around 6 or like 7 p.m. or some groups even at 8, and they have it like for 1 hour. We went to different places and realized that they have like different sounds, different music groups, different styles. And while we were trying to talk with them, we realized that even each group, like for example in Jinan or in Minhan or in Sunjiang, they even have like different ways of dancing between each other, and even sometimes they are even paying for be a part of group, that even like the dynamics between these groups are different as well. And this was like one of the researches that we did for realizing how we can capture these documents. And for the SLF approach, we will try to do a participatory and observational. And the reason for that is that when we were talking with the people in Jinan, we realized that not all of them are open to talk with us about why they are dancing or their experience. But at the same time, some of them were also like interested. So we realized that we can have the observation part, trying to capture the aesthetic of people dancing in the night or in the early morning. At the same time, have some participants and interview them for talking with them more and realizing why they are doing that.
So yeah, now we're going to talk about objectives. It's like, what are we trying to do? And first is like we're trying to understand the role of dancing and how dancing can connect the elders of the city and change their mood, because like normally it's just elders who are just trying to be more connecting and just trying to have their community of their own. Another one, what we're trying to understand is life after the retirement, what are their feelings, why they're doing it basically, and what is their life after the retirement, because we're all from different countries and retirement in each country is different. So that's why what we're trying to understand. And also Chinese aging community. So we're kind of displaying the vibrant and unique environment of elderly community in China. Our target audience is international netizens and internationals in China. So we're not trying to be like do it for Chinese people, but more for international community, so they would understand the culture better.
And so for our project timetable, so right now we're on schedule for our project timeline. We're currently in the pre-production stage. We've developed our concept, done our research, and conducted our pre-interviews with our subjects. So the next step is to create our shot list and storyboard and continue our production planning. Once we have everything in the pre-production finalized, which will be done within the next few days, we already have our equipment rented for November 11th to the 20th. So we'll be moving on to the production stage, where we'll head out to collect our interview shots, B-roll, make sure we get suitable sound and lighting for our videos, and collect any backup and log footage we might need. And then after that, during the end of November and early to mid-December, we will continue on to the post-production, where we will create our transcript, assemble the footage for our rough cut, make any edits we need to, add our sound and design and music, color grade, graphics, titles, and then by December 17th, we will be ready to submit for our final review.
Obviously, our project has some limitations and challenges. We talked about some of them already, like, for example, language barrier, because obviously we're in China. Even though we do have some Chinese-speaking people in our group, but we also found the help of others. The shooting video during nighttime is also not gonna help us. That's why we're gonna need some lamps. And also, Eddie told us to use black magic, so it's gonna be more like it's more suitable for the nighttime. Because as you saw in the videos, the lighting in some of the groups it's really nice, but in some it's like really dark, so it's kind of a challenge. Plus, it's filming in the public press agreement on shooting, which is also because we're shooting people, which is like a group community or group. Sometimes we need an agreement from them. And also for the interviews, it's also kind of harsh. And also for filming in the public, Eddie told us that we cannot put the tripod on sometimes, so it can be also really harsh for us. And also we need to find different dance style groups, so we won't be only on one group, but on several groups, so we can show it actually what the culture is about. Thank you so much.
Brilliant. Well done. That looks like it does look like a challenging project. As you mentioned, you've got the night filming. I would recommend, for instance, doing a lot of testing of that. The other thing is audio. You really have to come up with a strategy of how you're going to deal with the music. I think, the clips you showed us, it was quite noisy. And I think it could be like 3 or 4 different noisy scenes. And I would suggest you come up with a plan. For instance, if you hear the particular song, you ask them, where's that song from? And then you go to the original source and you use that music instead of maybe the live music happening there. But anyway, those are the couple of things that you need to play around with. But I think you're already on it because you've already identified those issues. So great, well done. Very nice presentation.
Thank you.
I'm just looking to see if Dr. Williams has joined us, and I see she has. Kit, hello. I think you probably realized that the clocks have changed in Britain, yeah?
Yeah, sorry. I'm very, very sorry. Very sorry. I did not realize that it was going to be, yeah. Anyway, here I am.
So
it's like literally half an hour till the end of class, is that right?
Yeah, we've got 20 minutes left. And basically I've recorded the
okay, fabulous.
So I can share them with you afterwards if you want to give feedback. We have 2 more presentations in front of us, and they've been all pretty much 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes. So it's perfect. So maybe we can go back to Shanghai Jiaotong and watch those presentations. Anyway, I'm glad you made it. Okay, Dangxi.
Yeah, here. here.
Good presentation so far, Kit.
Where's so we're loading. Give us where is it? One second. All right.
Go like this.
All right. Go ahead.
This is better?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. Hi and good morning from Shanghai. We are Real Mates Production. It's a legitimate logo we have, and we want to tell a story of a super mom of Shanghai in Shanghai. And our byline is when doing everything is still not enough. And we are Tahira, E, Jennifer, and Daria. But what about you? Who are you? We are imagining yourself as the features and community desk of Shanghai Daily. And we did some research, like what do you publish? And what we have found that you are interested in the profiles of the residents who live here, the businesses, the hobbies. The other day you published something related to a foreigner living with cats in Shanghai. Yeah, so our story kind of fits into that. And the overview of the pitch is, we're going to do the basics, the synopsis, we talk about the target audience, and we did some research of the location and the story of the protagonist. We are going to talk about that role, action sequences, hypotheses that we have in our mind, and then each of us are going to talk about our role, what we are going to do, and the project timeline, of course. So let's do the one-line synopsis in one line, okay? In Shanghai, Tahira, she, a Bangladeshi mother, a PhD student, and a small business owner, moves through her ordinary life balancing three things: study, work, and care about the family. Absorbing quite family expectations to do more. That's our climax. This is where I want you to guys focus on. And the synopsis would be, this is going to be an observational and participatory film that follows one day of Tahir Akhtar, and from morning cooking to afternoon research to evening businesses, we're going to show her daily life and how she navigates through these things. And the family contact would be minimal, and there will be like check-ins, WhatsApp group messages, and things like that. We're going to end it with so Tahira ends with a brief line about her pace and her daughter, to the point that even when everything gets done, the task to do more remains more. Our philosophy is kind of similar to the Fireflies. There is no villain here. We just want to show the story, keep it mostly observational. And the camera part is wide angle, mid angle, and OTS over the shoulder, and we want to show a lot of point of view, like what the mother sees, how the world from her eyes. And these are some jargons I'm using so that we know what we're doing. And diegetic. See a sound? This is diegetic. We want to capture the real sound. Minimal music, minimal edit, and things like the kitchen, the corridors, SJTU desk, and things like that. Our target audience, of course, the medium is the massage, right? So if we are asking you as a Shanghai Daily to publish it, your primary audience is our primary audience. And then we are going to specifically focus on the men and women in academia. Like many of you want to do your PhD and see your life, and you will be able to see like how your life fits within the story. Someone who is already living your life. And then, of course, the working moms, the international residents, and things like that. And as a director, I'll do the basics as everyone does. But the key here is to keep the pressure hinted and not spoken, not say everything out loud.
Okay, so I'll be presenting the background references. So our idea begins with contradictions where women ideas can be visible, even celebrated, but still judged as incomplete.
Like we see in Tahira's stories, our protagonist stories, like she studies, she takes care of the families and manage business at the same time. So each task is visible, right? But the evaluations of her effort happens on different level. For example, for instance, like from the lens of cultural norms, family expectations, and some invisible emotional labor. So our documentary will show how limited time constantly clashes with endless expectations in her life. And what we want audience to take away is a sense of recognition that this unseen pressure exists even when everything appears to be under control. But we are not portraying a failure to cope. Instead, we are revealing how society quietly redefines what is enough for a woman. So okay, so this is our focus of our documentary. Tahira is currently lives with her husband and one daughter in Shanghai, and she's a female entrepreneur who runs a platform connecting women in business, which focusing on handmade crafts. And she believes deeply in feminism and women empowerment, these values that have truly changed her life. And her factory in Bangladesh now supports vulnerable women, giving them more skills and working opportunities. So for her, it's not just a business, it's a way to recreate a community, to involve more women and change their lives. So, okay, our project draws on 3 key areas. The first is emotional labor. So the hidden effort women put into managing emotions, mixed feelings, and some other relationships, so often leads to time poverty. So even when their work is visible, like I mentioned just now, the emotional strain remains unseen. Okay, and then the second point is reproductive and care labor. So all this unpaid work as a mother or as a wife that keeps families and societies running is undervalued by the society, and it's central to the care economy, but still unsupported by most policy. And the last is a transnational motherhood. What is special about our protagonist is that being a foreigner in a foreign country, how women like Tahira balance studies, work abroad while facing ongoing cultural and family expectations. So together, these ideas help us to explain why women's visible achievement can still be judged as incomplete. And that's exactly what our films shows through one ordinary day of Tahira's life. So, okay, these are the potential locations which we might film our character. So first is at home, of course, at the school, running errands. Okay, you can see this at campus. And then spending time with family and friends. Managing her business. And this is with her family, right? Okay, so, okay, that's it from me. So I'm in post-production. Yeah.
Okay. So in a typical storyline, there's climax, exposition, climax, and resolution. And in our story, we end with the climax, and we leave the audience to discover this part later. And our day climbs in 3 parts. So first it's Tahira's PhD work, and then business, and then family time. And the peaks comes at night when everything meets. So after that, we land on a quiet moment with Tahira and his daughter. We're splitting our content into 4 sequences. What she does in her daily life, all the way from care work in the morning to finally returning her home in the evening. And why we think this is an important topic, it's because it proves that when a woman is already doing steady work and care, but still feels distance away from societal expectations. And this is also the insane part. So as a researcher and translator, I'll fast check names and places and prepare lower thirds, and are responsible for translating bilingual lines, including Chinese and English and any Chinese, and keeps a term list for subtitles, and collect releases, including child guardian, home, and campus, and yeah, and I delivered the first subtitle file with a rough cut in English and Chinese.
Okay. So this is at first
we're working actually, I'm sorry. This is at first we working with like the getting filming permission from SJTU and international student office, and also the front of media communication our school, and my daughter's daycare building, and also connect some community like Bangladeshi student community, and also international moms group and neighborhood like my community nearby. So this is, and times by one. So participant. So this is the most important me as a, and I am me and my daughter is the main character here. So the family boy is not like calling to my factory manager and my family, and the the some of managing like a customer client meeting, also with collaborating my classmate like the purchasing the hand note or a class exam note, and the this is specific version. Okay, can I say that?
Show the timeline. Show the timeline, and then let's.
So this is our basic timeline. Right now we still have a preparation period, and like in a week and a half we will start our shooting. This is our project timeline. Like as you have seen that like on the 10th of November we will start our shooting, and in the beginning of January there will be like a delivery of our like documentary. And we yes, thank you.
All right. Good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I think we've got one presentation left, and so actually, when we get to the hour mark, if Osaka University students need to leave, that's fine. I think Kit and I can stay on a bit longer. So I know your class also lasts a bit longer. So students, if you need to leave on the hour, please feel free to do. I have just one comment on your presentation. And it's also something that relates to your video. I worry that you have too much. You're probably going to struggle to keep it to 6 minutes with the plan that you have. So I really think you need to focus in on what you consider to be the most important element of the story. So please think about that a little bit. I know you wanted to share everything with us, and it was great that you did that. But I also think in order to keep to a reasonable length, you need to come up with some strategy to focus in a little bit. Kit, would you agree? No, you're muted there, Kit.
Yeah, I would agree. If it's 6 minutes and each scene is about a minute and a half, then you need to think about what your scenes are consisting of and what the information is that you're going to convey, the conflict and the resolution that you're going to convey across those scenes. So you need to sort of narrow it down a little bit. But I like the concept, and I like the detail that you've gone into for it, definitely.
Yeah, so okay. Last but not least, the Mongolia project. Wow, sounds great.
Hello everyone. I want to start by asking you a personal question. Have you ever looked at your grandparents and thought, what's your story? How did you become who you are today? Because, for example, even me, when I look at my great-grandfather, I think, man, you saw the Second World War, Stalinist repressions, Cuban Missile Crisis. You lived in one house with KGB agents and got kicked out of the Communist Party. How come you're still alive and well? I always want to ask him that, and I always postpone. And I forget that one day it may become too late. This project was inspired by similar motivation. Our teammate Jagger has a relative in Mongolia who had a very inspiring life and now manages to be happy and hopeful despite severe health condition. And we want to tell his story while he is still here to talk. Next slide. How do I do that? Okay.
So in one sentence, we are going to film about elderly Mongolian farmer who shows his city-based nephews the rural life while reflecting on his life, hardships, relations with nature, and legacy that he wants to leave. If you want to dive a little bit deeper into what our documentary is going to be about, it's going to be about Purvjab and his wife who live in Mongolia around a small farm with cows, sheep, and horses. In the middle of autumn, they accommodate their nephews that were born in the capital and try to make them familiar with the village life. As Purvjab leads the nephews throughout the day, not only does he expose the boys to joys and difficulties of being a farmer, he also reflects on his personal story, hardships, relationship with nature, and legacy that he wants to leave. The story explores the differences between older and younger generations, rural and urban lifestyles, and what they can offer to people, and poses the question, who Purvjab and his wife are going to pass down the farm to if no one wants to live in the village anymore? So our documentary is going to be a poetic, ethnographic, participatory documentary. It's going to be poetic because Mongolia is very beautiful and we shot lots of beautiful sceneries. It's going to be ethnographic because we were lucky to catch some of the traditional ways of farming and traditional lifestyle of Mongolians. And it's going to be participatory because not only did we stage some of the interviews, we also were vividly present behind the camera and sometimes in front of the camera as we were helping our participants with their everyday activities.
Okay, and I will quickly go over the tensions that we managed to currently trace in our materials. I think Lisa already mentioned some of them. So first of all is urban versus rural ways of living. Another one is older versus younger generation, hands-on knowledge and responsibility with the land versus digital aspirations. And obviously the two generations have very different visions and dreams. And legacy also becomes a big question, as was mentioned, what gets passed down and who will take it on. Also, we explored the topic of man and nature because their life revolves around sustainability, sustainable living, animal care. It's shaped by seasons and constant respect for the environment. It was mentioned multiple times in the interviews as well. And also important topic is agency versus circumstance, because even if you want to shape your life in a certain way, there are some external factors that have their own opinion on it and will not let you do what you want. Yeah, and our visual references before we went there, we gathered sort of mood board of different visuals, nature photography, and short documentaries. Yeah, we kept it in mind while shooting. First of all, we tried to film a lot of action-based interviews, so we did not interrupt the natural way of living of our characters. Well, we tried to. Yeah, we shot a lot of B-rolls and emotional bits, including chats in the kitchen, singing, smoke in the air, hands working. We tried to keep it as authentic as possible. Yeah, and we tried to shoot for alternative storylines as well, so editing will shape the narrative in the future.
Yeah, so as Masha has already said, Mongolia and the scenery is one of our main characters. We tried to catch the beauty of the rural life. We also were lucky to catch some moments of raw, untouched nature that we are very proud of and we can't wait to share with you. And also we focused on personal stories and interactions as we followed our main characters throughout their ordinary days. So we did with them everything they did, and it was very interesting. Of course, before going, we conducted some research. First of all, last summer, Jagi went to Mongolia and conducted an interview with our main character, asked him about his life, his personal story, what he has to say, and then she pitched it to Masha, and we decided that this story is worth telling. Of course, we also not only want to concentrate on the personal story of the main character, we also want to tie it to some more global things, more universal things. And for that, we studied UN 2030 agenda and identified some topics that we can explore deeper in our documentary. We also studied Mongolia Vision 2050, which is a program document adopted by Mongolian government to outline the strategy of Mongolian development until 2050, and we are going to try to keep it all in mind while assembling the story. This is our team. So Masha is our producer. She is the most familiar with video production, and she has great artistic vision. Jagi is our project manager. She organized our trip to Mongolia, translated for us, and found the participants. And editing and cameraman responsibilities are going to be shared between me and Masha. So this whole film is a tribute to our main character, a gift to him and his family. We also offered some practical help with everyday activities to our main characters, even though sometimes they looked like they didn't need our help because they're just cool like that. And we also offered some financial reward to our edgy teenage participant who brought from the city to the rural area. Just so you know, we paid for every finger he lifted. So, yes.
Yeah, and the basic timeline, basically, as you can see, we have already finished shooting. Our next step is finish the transcriptions and then put the movie together while editing. Yeah, here are the details on it.
And this is our target audiences. So our primary target audience is documentary enthusiasts, people who are interested in anthropology, cultural heritage, and travel. And our secondary target audience is viewers who are interested in environmentalism and sustainability. So with this story, we want to remind our audience and ourselves that every life is meaningful and every story is worth exploring. Thank you very much for your attention.
Encourage your group to be there and say hi. Oh, yeah. They don't see you.
Wow, what a great presentation. It's really good. And I think that you're obviously in a good position because you've already done a lot of the filming. And so the images that you were able to share with us were actually from the field. And as Leander says, they were really beautiful images. So we can immediately understand what you're trying to make. And I think I'd like to point out to all the student groups is that you should learn from each other. So when you see the presentation like this, there's a lot of really important components to it that can help the other groups make better presentations, especially Osaka University students, because they will be next week. But you've also you've really put the bar at a very high level. I think all of the presentations were great, and I'm very impressed. I think for your project, I could imagine that you might produce more than one output. Yeah, I can see you can do the 6-minute short version, but I can also see that you probably have enough footage for a longer form documentary. I just wonder if that's your vision.
Yeah, that's our plan.
Okay, so the challenge then is to make the shorter one, not the longer one. The longer one is going to be easier, I think. Kit, would you like to give some feedback?
Yeah, well done. I think going out into a place like Mongolia just in itself is quite challenging as a story, and working with people and getting access, that's really fabulous. I'm curious to know what's the feedback with the family when you start making the work. Will you be showing the family the work in rough cut stage before you finish the film, so that they've got a chance to feedback or give any comment on anything that perhaps they're not happy with or they want to clarify? Did you get access to any of the archive from early on in their in his life? with old photographs, or is there any sort of footage of old Mongolian practices that can come from the Mongolian National Film Archive, or something that can help bring to life his memory of his life when he's sharing with his grandson, the young fellow.
Grandnephew. Well, when it comes to archive, we have like 1 hour of footage of them showing us a photo album, multiple
Great.
of them actually. Yeah, and I don't think we will be showing them the rough cut because they don't have access to internet or like a laptop or anything. So yeah, maybe no.
They don't have any feedback, or they don't have any ideas how they want it to look like. I think they're very happy that we came there and then spent time with them and then asked questions and then interested in their life. I think they're more than happy with that. They would be happy to receive any kind of footage that we would like to give them, but
maybe print it out, print the screenshots out.
But yeah, so far they don't have any feedbacks. I think
the only reason I ask is I worked with a Mongolian family on a project a few years ago, and it was similar. They were a herding family, and I managed to get a copy of the film at a small enough size where the young daughter was able to look at it on her phone. She went to town and she downloaded it. And there was one shot in the film that they didn't like, and I was able to take that out. So it's just it was fine and they were very happy with it. But I do think because you're working very closely with someone's life and story, and they may be really excited at the time to share knowledge, it is worthwhile seeing if you can try to get a copy of the film to the family to look before you lock it, before you finish. It's just a really respectful practice to do, I think, if possible.
Okay, yeah, we will. They will come to township, and then we will show them what we have so far. Probably.
Yeah, just I think it's for satisfaction for you as well, just in terms of like a really good relational engagement with them.
Great, thank you so much. That's excellent.